Hi, I'm Sam Sheehan at Stitch and Steel Homestead, and today is Hatch Day. Our first clutch of incubator raised chicks is due to hatch today. We had a couple precocious early starters hatch out yesterday for us, and the rest should be hatching out today, so that's super exciting. We've never run an incubator here before. Anytime we've had chicks hatch on our homestead, it's been because we've had a brooding mama incubate them. But this year we want to experiment with using a breed called the Canadian Galois as a meat bird. And so to do that, we need to start with a foundation stock, and then they will lay eggs that will become our meat birds. Acquiring them is expensive. These birds sell for $17 each as a chick. And to put that in perspective, normally I can get an adult hen who's already laying of other breeds for about the same price. So the cheapest way to acquire our breeding flock of the Canadian Galois is to start with eggs and hatch them ourselves. So for Christmas I was gifted an incubator, and right now we're running a hatch just with our, barnyard mixed chickens that we have here in the barn to see how it works and make sure that we've ironed out all the kinks of the process before we buy $80 a dozen Canadian Galois eggs to try hatching. So I will update you on the Galois as we get them, but for now I'm going to take you inside and show you the super cute little peeps that we've got happening in our incubator. So these are the little peepers in the incubator. Unfortunately, we're just going to have to deal with that glare on the screen. I cannot open the incubator at this point or it will let out too much of the humidity, and the other ones will have a difficult time hatching. It looks like we're at about 13 or maybe 14 chicks in here hatched already out of 20, so that's we're getting there. Good morning, little cheeps. Once chicks hatch out of their shell, they've got enough reserves in their body from the yolk of their egg to last them for about 3 days before they need to take in any water or food. This helps the first ones who hatch sustain themselves until mama has hatched all the rest and can get up and leave the nest to lead them to food. Because there's a bit of a gap between when the first hatch and the last hatch. If mama had to get up and feed the first chicks right away, the remaining eggs would get too chilled and probably not survive. So these chicks are designed to be able to withstand the first few days of life without any food or water. Despite this, we decided to move the first ones who've hatched out of the incubator before they were entirely done hatching. We felt pretty confident that we could get and maintain the moisture and humidity levels within the incubator, even if we opened it briefly to pull the hatchlings out. So it wasn't really for any health-related reason or animal welfare-related reason that we decided to bring those hatchlings out early. It just was mainly impatience and excitement. But no harm was done. The remaining chicks hatched out just fine afterwards, so it's all good. What I'm doing now is I'm taking each chick one by one, hello sweetheart, and I'm introducing them into their brooder, which has a heat light for them that's going to keep them nice and toasty, and it's got their food and water. And I'm going to dip their beak into the water and dip their beak into the food so that they know where both are and how to find them. And now I'm going to repeat that about 14 more times. Here's number 2. Oop, come on. Beak in the water. And dip. So we have to do this process because they don't have a mama chicken who's going to show them where to find the food and water. So we got to help them out a little bit here. Dip, there's your water. Dip, there's your food. Here's number 4. And so on. So I've moved the first 14 chicks here from the incubator into the brooder, and they're probably going to just cozy up under it because they've just been taken out of their very warm incubator and they don't know what to do with themselves yet. But this playpen has a warmer end and a cooler end so that they can huddle under the light when they need it to keep warm, and they can move away from it if they're a little bit too hot. And their behavior will also give me a clue about the temperature in here and whether it's okay. Like if they're all staying huddled up very tight together under the light, then I might need to lower it a little bit. It might be too cold for them. And if they're staying as far away from it as they can get, then I know that it's too warm. So we're just going to monitor them over the next hour or so and see, are they exploring and making use of their space? Are they huddled up and cold? How's it going? And they've got their feed and water here. They've all had their beaks dipped in it so they know where to find it. So everybody should be good, and hopefully their remaining 6 siblings will catch up with them soon. Happy Hatch Day, everybody! Beep beep. So out of 20 eggs that we incubated, we ended up with 17 hatching, which is kind of incredible. The 3 who didn't hatch, it wasn't any failure on the part of the incubator or the operator or the chicks themselves or anything like that. It was a failure on the part of the rooster. Those 3 eggs never got fertilized, so nothing could grow. Chickens will lay an egg every day, whether there's a rooster present or not. It's basically the equivalent of an ovulation. And just like women continue to ovulate even if we don't conceive, it's the same thing with a chicken. They produce an egg every day, whether there's a rooster present or not. Only fertilized eggs, however, can hatch. So those 3 eggs that didn't get fertilized, they were never going to hatch no matter what we did. But of all the eggs that were fertile that went into the incubator, we had 100% hatch rate. So I'm feeling very optimistic about our chances when we get the breasts or Canadian Galois eggs, and really looking forward to that now. All of the chicks that we hatched in this batch are currently for sale. Our hope is that someone else will take them home and brood them until they get their feathers in and can join their own laying flock, or maybe start their own laying flock if they don't have any birds yet. We didn't hatch this batch out of a desire to have any more of the same birds that we have currently. It was purely just to test out the incubator in preparation for the Canadian Galois. So obviously if they don't sell, we'll just have to keep them here and that'll be fine. But I'm pretty confident that it won't take long to find them new homes. Thanks for watching today, and if you have any more questions about brooding chicks, let me know down in the comments. Take care.